Grab your popcorn and dim the lights. We're taking a nostalgic trip back to the neon-soaked era of the 60s and 70s to explore the changing skyline of Ottawa's cinema scene. From the roar of the drive-ins to the birth of the multiplex, here is the history of the silver screen from 1960 to 1979. The early 60s, end of eras and new beginnings. The decade started with a goodbye as the Théâtre Français officially closed its doors in 1961. By 1963, the local scene was in a total state of flux. On May 3, 1963, the Laurier in Hull took its final bow. But cinema fans didn't have to wait long for a thrill. On August 29, 1963, the massive Queensway Drive-In, Odeon, opened its gates to carloads of moviegoers. That same year, the Cartier Theatre pivoted its strategy, beginning to showcase movies in French. In 1964, a major what-if moment occurred. There were ambitious plans to split the legendary Capitol into 2 screens, but the hammers never swung and the project was scrapped. 1965 to 1968, the rise of the shopping center cinema. Innovation hit the region on October 23, 1965, when the Vendôme opened in Hull, making history as the very first shopping center cinema in the Ottawa area. Just weeks later, on November 4, 1965, the Odeon Elmdale celebrated a grand reopening after a fresh round of renovations.
Look out! Here comes the biggest Bond of all. Thunderball.
The late 60s were all about identity changes. In 1968, July 11th, the Center Theatre rebranded as the Mall Theatre. July 12th, the Linden Theatre followed suit, becoming the Town. October 10th, the Odeon St. Laurent cinemas made a splash as a brand new twin cinema. The 1970s, drive-ins and forbidden films. The 70s kicked off with a mix of expansion and loss. On May 15, 1970, 20th Century Theaters launched the Airport Drive-In. But by the end of the year, 2 icons, the Capitol, Famous Players, and the Little, closed their doors forever. Modernization continued on April 1, 1971, with the opening of the Cinémas Place de Ville Trin by Famous Players. By June 1, 1972, the Famous Players Capitol Square 3 joined the party. Things got a little spicier in 1972. On September 15th, Michel Custom from Montreal opened the Pussycat in Hull, screening adult films that were strictly banned across the river in Ottawa. Hull's expansion continued on December 2nd with the opening of 3 cinemas. 1973 to 1974, drama on and off the screen. 1973 was a year of theatrical tug-of-war. The Town was sold to Germain Cadian, who attempted to switch to French films, but Montreal suppliers refused to book them. The theater was forced to pivot to a repertory policy. Meanwhile, on October 2, 1973, Odeon pulled the plug on the Mall Theatre. The shuffle continued into 1974. On March 16th, 3 cinemas in Hull closed down. On May 19th, the Cine Park Templeton opened for outdoor fans. And the end of an era, the Startop Drive-In in Nepean officially dimmed its lights. The late 70s, the birth of the multiplex. By 1976, the drive-in was bigger than ever. On July 2nd, the Britannia Drive-In added its 2nd screen.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Here they come!
Star Wars.
Coming in too fast!
An adventure unlike anything on your planet. It's an epic of heroes and villains and aliens from 1,000 worlds. Star Wars, rated PG.
1977 changed the corporate landscape when Canadian Theatres and Odeon merged to form the powerhouse Canadian Odeon. This year also saw the March 3rd opening of the L'Amour Adult Cinema in Hull. But the biggest news came on June 24, 1977. The Britannia 6 opened right next to the drive-in, marking the arrival of the very first multiplex in the Ottawa area. We wrap up the decade with a few more name changes and expansions. On April 1, 1978, the Gatineau Cinema opened, only to be renamed the Venus on October 12th, specializing in adult cinema. Finally, on June 22, 1979, the Airport Drive-In reopened with a whopping 3 screens to take Ottawa into the 80s. Thanks for watching. If you love local history and the magic of the movies, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the past.